Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori if you're new. We are doing just like a very casual reading vlog. It's gonna be over the next couple days, but I'm like super duper in the reading mood. I think it entirely has to do with the Edens series by Devney Perry. I have been obsessed. I listened to the first book, Indigo Ridge, in one sitting, like one day, listened to it all the way through, couldn't stop myself. And I have a feeling that Juniper Hill is going to be the same way. When I went for our walk this morning, which you guys came along, and I was listening to Juniper Hill the whole time, we, for the new year, got a Fitbit, and I'm also trying to have a step goal because I am a sedentary potato, and all of my cozy hobbies just have me sitting down. So my goal each day is to hit at least 6,500 steps. We are now at 5,400. Let's talk about Juniper Hill. I'm obsessed. I'm in my romantic suspense era. I read, like I mentioned, Indigo Ridge. That was probably my first romantic suspense. I can't think of if I've read anything else like this. I like that it was mixed between romance. Like romance was definitely at the forefront of the first book and this book as well. But the first book had almost like a thriller aspect to it because there was like a murder mystery. So not only was there tension with the romance, I feel like Devney Perry does tension between the main characters so freaking well. But then there was the suspense from the like murder mystery because our FMC in the first book was chief of police. It was so freaking good. Anyways, let's talk about Juniper Hill. This, we follow Memphis. We follow Memphis and Knox Eden. It's named the Edens series because the family that like basically was one of the founding families of this town, Quincy, Montana. The first book, we followed the like ranching brother, and this one, Knox is a chef at the hotel that the family owns, and then his sister is like the hotel manager. So like the Edens are just everywhere in this town. Memphis moved to Quincy from New York. It is Luke and Lorelai coded. If you love Gilmore Girls like I do, you will love this because it's honestly better. Like, this is how I wanted Luke to be throughout the entire series of Gilmore Girls. I'm obsessed with it. He is so grumpy. He's a loner. Food is his love language. Acts of service is his love language. Memphis moves here with her 2-month-old in tow. Her 2-month-old is named Drake, and she is having a hard time with it. I mean, she's really just down on her luck in her life. We learn that her family kind of disowned her. They want to know who the father of her baby is. She doesn't want to disclose that information, so they cut her off. Hence, she had to move without a penny to her name to this town to take a position as a maid at this hotel. It's so good. There's a scene where Knox is just being a complete a-hole, and then he goes to try to find her to apologize, and she's like in a room making a bed, like bent over the bed, and he was just like, I don't know what to do. I love her. I was like, yes, you do, King. Yes, you do. He didn't actually say the L word, but we know where this is going. He's also an MMC who isn't afraid of like a baby. There's clearly like he has some trauma stuff that happened in the past, but the way that he just fully steps in to help her when she really needs help with Drake is adorable. Like, my ovaries hurt. It's so good. It's so good. I love this man. Oh, did I also mention that there was no apartments for rent in the whole entire town, so she has to rent this like loft space on his property next to his house, and his house is very secluded. But he also built it with all windows. Like, he just wanted to be able to see outside, 360 view from his whole house. And so this man wakes up in the middle of the night when Drake is crying, and he is in his boxer briefs, and Memphis is just like, I don't even care. I don't even care that my baby is up screaming in the middle of the night because I get to see this. And I am unwell. The first book for me was a 4-star. We'll see how this continues. This could be like a very high rating as well, like a 4 or 5-star. That's my prediction. We are on page 106 of 305. So we're like 30% of the way through. That's my update for now. I'm going to continue listening to this audiobook for the rest of the day. TBH, I do have to work today, and I do have some calls, but I think I'll be able to continue listening to this through like the early part of the afternoon. I only sleep with tourists in this town. Like, I don't want anything serious. He sees Memphis eat one of the things that he made. I think the first meal that he made for her was tacos. He saw her take that first bite. It was over for him. It was over. And now they're kissing. And he's like, I'm gonna bring her coffee in the morning. I was expecting, the first book was Fade to Black for all of the spicy scenes. Like, it would have the lead up, but then it would fade to black. Juniper Hill is not Fade to Black, and I am absolutely screaming. But also, tell me why this man, after the first time together, said that was fire. No. Like, I love him so much, but no. Oh my god, this is so juicy. I'm so happy that I'm listening to the audiobook, because honestly, I would be like reading ahead. Like, I'd be jumping to see what the answer was of like what's going on, the mysteries that are going on. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. Okay, I'm still experimenting with this camera. So on the clips that I don't use this little mic, I do apologize if the audio is awful. I'm going to edit some of this footage today just to like check everything, because I'm still getting used to this camera, but hopefully it's not horrible. If it is, I apologize after the fact. We just finished our granny square. These are going to be for my genre blanket that I'm making this year. It's my first genre blanket. I'm very excited. They're all gonna look like this. So they're all gonna have the flower pattern. The flower colors will stay the same with the white petals and the orange center. And then this color, the actual granny square, is dedicated to the genre. So pink is for romance. And then I'm doing this navy border all around. I'm having a lot of fun with this. It is January 6th right now, and I have finished 3 books. We are going to finish Juniper Hill later today, so 4 books technically. This square was for Wild Love that I finished yesterday? Yes, yesterday. I love the genre blanket. I love doing the little squares. I feel like when I actually have to combine them all together, that's when I'm not going to love it as much, but we're going to practice with other smaller projects like combining the granny squares together, and we're going to see how it goes. Juniper Hill. I have 56 minutes left in the audiobook. I'm loving these narrators, and I just found out that it's not the same narrators for every book, which is really sad, but this one is narrated by Maxine Mitchell and Jason Clark. It is dual POV, and they switch back and forth. I love Jason Clark, but I also really love Maxine Mitchell. I think they're both doing an excellent job. But I had to look up Garnet Flats because that's probably going to be the next book that I just jump into, because I'm literally obsessed with these. I can't stop listening to them. I think that they're so fun. They're so juicy. I just can't even deal. The next book, Garnet Flats, is narrated by Cindy Kay and Connor Crace. If they don't live up to the Juniper Hills narrators, I'm going to be upsetty spaghetti. But the first book was also really, really good because I listened to that on audio as well. Okay. I love Knox. I love him so much, but my one critique of this book is that it feels like it went from 0 to 500 in 2.5 seconds. It seems like this man just really wanted to be a dad. Like, it seems like he just saw his opportunity. He was like, this is a beautiful blonde woman. She's here. She's living in my loft above my garage. But he fell in love with Drake, her baby, before he fell in love with her. Not to say he didn't like her, but like, I think that the pull for him that enhanced his attraction, almost not attraction, that's the wrong word, but like enhanced his motivation to pursue Memphis was Drake, because this man just wants to be a dad, and he's so sweet. So sweet. I'm loving every second of it. It feels like they went from grumpy to in like with each other in 2.5 seconds. I don't know what the time span is of this book. I think they've known each other for like a couple months, but they're like already moved in together. He's like fully taking care of Drake. It's not bothering me, but I did have a moment where they're at like a family Thanksgiving whole thing, and it's really cute. It's also really reminding me the family dynamic of kind of like Chestnut Springs, but it's small town family. There's a bunch of them. So like, that's why. There was that moment when they were like at family Thanksgiving and I was like, these two have literally known each other for 5 seconds. The suspense factor, the suspense plot is very, very different from the first book. I thought that they were all gonna have kind of like crime mysteries, like murder mystery type thing. No, this one is much more like family drama suspense, but I'm here for it. I absolutely am here for it. Even though this is super Luke and Lorelai coded, like even the family dynamic is very similar and whatnot, but I love Emily and Richard Gilmore. So I will not put disrespect on their name by comparing them to Memphis's parents, because Memphis's parents are like absolute garbage trash. They're just rich parents that like don't care about their kids, like don't like raise their kids. It's almost like they did it because they're like, we're rich and we're married. Like having kids is like something else to check off the list of life. And that is atrocious. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Memphis was like, I'm outie. Don't talk to me. This is not book related, but I did get a package from Abercrombie. I have been, ever since like December, I have just been wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt. I think this is the first day that I've worn jeans in, I couldn't even tell you how long. I've been hating all of my clothes. Like I'm just in a phase where I hate everything in my closet. All I want to wear is sweatpants and a sweatshirt. So I figured why not just like get a couple pieces to like refresh my wardrobe a little bit. I do try to have more of a capsule wardrobe where I can like mix and match whatever and it's gonna go and stuff like that. I just figured let's open this together and do a little haul. I don't know if I'll be trying stuff on, but we'll see. Oh my God, there's beads on this. This is so cute. Okay, I have been obsessed lately with baby tees. This isn't like super baby. It's more of just like a little crop, but look, it has little sushis on it and they're beaded. I wonder how I'm supposed to wash this, but oh my God, she's so cute. Actually, I might have to try on the pants because I've also been hating all of my pants lately and I wanted to try. I love Abercrombie jeans. They're like pretty much all I own except for the ones I'm wearing right now are H&M, and I love H&M jeans. They're so freaking comfy. But I wanted to try the slouchy jean. These are mid-rise and they're Curve Love. What I'm discovering is I actually don't love high-waisted as much as I thought I did. And then I got low-rise like slacks. I really love the slacks that Abercrombie has, not because I'm trying to be fancy, but because they're actually really comfortable. And so on a day where I don't feel like wearing jeans, but I don't want to wear sweatpants because it's just like, it's going to put me in like a slouchy, don't want to do anything type of mood, having those to wear is actually really nice. I'm going to try some stuff on and we're going to see if we like it. I must have forgot to turn on my mic for these. So these are the black pants. We spin, we talk, think we're talking, and then we change into the jeans and we kick and then we spin and then we spin a little bit more and now we're done. Hello besties, we have an update on Juniper Hill. We finished it last night. I'm giving it 4 stars. I love these books. I think that the second book was a little bit more focused on the romance, and like we mentioned, there was spice in this one where the first one was Fade to Black, and I think that that was definitely where Devney Perry's head was at, because the suspense factor of this book happened right at the very, very end. It felt a little bit like an afterthought, in my opinion. That is not a complaint because I enjoyed this romance so thoroughly. I'm obsessed with them. I love Knox and Memphis so much. But I do think in terms of defining this book as a romantic suspense, it just barely made that suspense qualification. Not mad at it though. The suspense aspect as well, like right at the very end, I was stressed. So 4 stars. So far, that has been a 4-star series for me. I'm very excited to start Garnet Flats. Is that the next one? I think I'm going to get the audiobook for it as well because like we mentioned, I've just been having such fun. I'm just not an epilogue person, and Devney Perry is an epilogue person. She gives you not only one, but multiple like bonus epilogues, and I'm like, I just don't care for it. I'm never an epilogue person. Yeah, Garnet Flats is the next one. So, but I did want to talk about the ebook that I started. I borrowed this from the library, and I actually first heard about this book from Allison Pages here on YouTube. She has not posted in the last like year, but she's one of my favorite creators of all time. The books that she reads are things that I wouldn't normally pick up, but she makes them sound so interesting. She reads a lot of like general fiction or like lit fic, really thought-provoking books. I think she does read some thrillers. She dabbles in some of the like very popular, traditionally published, super hyped books, but I wouldn't say that that's her core. She reads a lot of translated works. Just, she's an icon. Anyways, she was talking about in a very old vlog that I was rewatching of hers, she was talking about interesting facts about space by Emily Austen. This is the cover for it. I know it's in black and white, but it's really, really cute. It's almost like a character study of a main character who gives us her stream of consciousness. And there's moments where I'm like, am I reading an internal monologue from my internal voice? It's so freaking funny. Let me just read you this review about this book. This one is for the ones who have to mask in everyday conversations, the ones who have constant paranoia about everything from accidentally saying the wrong thing to being murdered, the ones who continually do things that they know are bad for them and maybe not completely ethical, the ones who spent their middle school through college masking so that people would like them and are now trying to pick up the pieces of who they are and put them back together. That review is literally insane, but let me just read you a couple of the highlights. None of this is spoilery because there's really no like plot to the story. It is literally just a stream of consciousness. Okay. I was laughing out loud reading so much of this book, and I'm only on page 67 so far. Sometimes I think I have a parasite. I feel like there is a creature crawling inside me, trying to migrate to my brain. I picture him like Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants, a malevolent little mastermind who's trying to use my body like a Trojan horse. I was on the floor. Sometimes my intrusive thoughts really do feel like Plankton from SpongeBob inside my head. I'm not gonna lie, that is so accurate. When the bug in my head starts whispering about how rotten I am, I distract myself, I turn on a podcast. That's me, but with audiobooks. Like, this book is reading me to filth and I don't know how to feel about it or what to do. That's the last one that I have so far, but I've already highlighted so many things, and like I mentioned, I'm literally only on page 64. So I'm very happy to be reading a book like this. It's been a long time since I've read a lit fic, been in the mood for a lit fic, but I feel like my brain at the moment, meaning this specific day, tomorrow I might feel completely different because I am in my mood reading era, but I just really wanted something that was exploring the human experience, something that was a bit like relatable to me, something that I would find really entertaining. I didn't want anything like too serious or sad per se, but I find that writing styles like this that are just so refreshingly relatable, I feel like after reading Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, I enjoyed it so much and it refreshed something in me that was my love for lit fic. It had been a while since I'd read a lit fic. I love like weird girl lit fic, and I don't read a lot of them. I think the last one before Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, not that that's like weird girl lit fic, but the last one that I read was Big Swiss. I'm obsessed with this book cover. I enjoy books like this so much. This one is about like a sex therapist who ends up becoming, or she's a transcriber for a sex therapist. So she doesn't even meet with these people or is analyzing these people. She literally just types out transcriptions for recordings for a sex therapist. And she becomes obsessed with this woman who in her head she labels as Big Swiss. She's obsessed with her life and her love life and like everything. It's so freaking funny. I just love books like that, and I haven't taken the time to really explore that in quite some time because last year was so fantasy romance heavy for me. It's just like where my brain is at for right now. So anyways, I would like to get farther into interesting facts about space today. Hello, besties. We had bar this morning. It was very hard. I didn't do it. I'm trying to think. I don't think I did it last week because of like the holidays and stuff like that, but it was good. It was the first time that I held every class. You do like a 90-second plank series. It was the first time that I didn't drop during that time. So I'm really proud of myself. I've been doing it for 3 months. And I dropped every other time. So I'm feeling very accomplished. Last night we finished reading Interesting Facts About Space. I stayed up later than I intended, but I just had to finish it. And I ended up giving it 4 stars. I loved it. I think at times it was a little bit triggering for me because we're following our main character who sort of lets her intrusive thoughts win at certain times. And as someone who also struggles with intrusive thoughts, there were times when I really, really related to what she was saying. And then when she would have these intrusive thought spirals, because it's just a stream of consciousness writing style, I felt like I was getting really in my head, but it was reflective. It was really beautiful. It was a very hopeful story because towards the end, she decides to start seeking out therapy, and she does not have great reactions to therapy in the beginning, which is also very relatable. Like, I was going to therapy last year for a little while, and you have this like sense of dread before you go because you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be so emotional and I'm gonna have to talk about things that I don't want to talk about. But then when you face those topics, you end up leaving. She had described it as though she just had like an all-night bender. She's like, my eyes hurt. I feel emotionally exhausted. I just sat in my car in silence afterwards just to like recoup. That's literally how you feel sometimes after just an emotional dam breaks and like all of these things are just coming out. Again, lots of hope. Like it's definitely not like a depressing story or anything like that because there's so much humor woven in. I was smiling to myself, being a dum-dum head, laughing out loud. I loved the writing. I would definitely read another book by Emily Austen, but I didn't have a lot of thoughts like while I was reading it. That's why I did kind of that check-in right in the very beginning. And then I was like, let's just finish this. And then I can give like final thoughts because there was no plot to update on. We're just following that one character through her experiences. And we maybe, I don't know, follow her for a couple months. The balance between humor and seriousness was just spot on. And it was done with such a thoughtful approach, in my opinion. And then the ending of the book really ties together nicely. So loved that one. And now, yesterday, I didn't really listen to, I think I got 2 chapters into Garnet Flats. I didn't listen to too much of it because when we went on our hot girl walk with JMO yesterday for lunch, one of my besties called me and I ended up just talking to her while we were walking. On the to-do for today is to get a little bit deeper into Garnet Flats. We are following, I forget her name, but she's like the doctor sister of the Edens. So the past 2 books we've been following 2 of the Eden brothers and their romances. This one we have an Eden sister. She's a doctor. And I think that her love interest is one of her exes, and he is a boxer or like an MMA fighter. This morning I have a couple like computery projects to do, so I'm going to be listening to it while I do that stuff. And then we're definitely not going to finish it today, and I'm going to have this vlog up later today, but I'll give you some thoughts about how it's going in a little bit. I'm only on chapter 3, but I have thoughts. Talia is a bad bitch. She's a doctor. She's in her residency, I should say. And I'm really excited to continue to learn more about her. One thing I'm really enjoying is the first 2 chapters were labeled under the section round 1 because, oh gosh, what's his name? I think his name is Foster, the MMA fighter. We find out they have backstory. They have tea. I think this is second chance romance. This has to be second chance romance. Foster is the MMA fighter. So the first section was round 1. Now we're on round 2 and I am dying. I don't know how many rounds are in an MMA fight, but I'm so excited for it. Apparently, and I haven't read the summary for this book, but we're only 2 chapters in, so no spoilers. Talia and Foster knew each other when they were both in Nevada. Apparently they were like together. Everything was going well. And then out of nowhere, Foster married a different woman. I need to know. I need to know what's going on. And she was like heartbroken. So she ended up moving back to Montana And obviously, like, she is in med school and, like, doing all this stuff. But Foster always thought of her as, like, the one that got away. I need to know why he married another woman when he was dating our main character. That is so freaking mean. Are you actually joking? His now ex-wife is still involved somehow, and that seems weird. But Foster just shows up at her door and hands her an engagement ring. And he came to Montana to chase after Talia, clearly. But he bought a gym so that he can, like, train professionally. It's going to be like a boxing / MMA gym, and he has to, like, build it from the ground up. I already don't like this man. Like, he sounds like he's hot, but I'm really upset with him. So he needs to earn our trust back. Those are my updates thus far. He married her best friend. We're fighting someone. We are fighting someone. We're fighting someone. I'm about to punch the air. I'm so upset. I did check the summary on Goodreads. That is in there. I did not go into this book looking up the summary on Goodreads, but, like, this is in the 3rd chapter. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just reacting to something that I had no idea I was getting into. I'm so mad. Okay, besties, we made it to 20% in Garnet Flats. I have to end the vlog here. I'm finishing up editing it right now. This man has not redeemed himself. We are not so patiently waiting for him to give us an explanation that even makes sense. Also, it is confirmed his ex-wife is still in his life, and he was with Talia, and they were, like, about to kiss, and he gets a call from his ex-wife, and she's just, like, staring at the phone and, like, leaves. I would too. Like, what? This man sounds like garbage trash. And I understand that he's hot and he's a fighter. And when they used to date before all of this happened, she would watch his fights and be, like, super duper stressed the entire time, like clenching her teeth and her butt cheeks together, like afraid he was going to get hurt. And then afterwards they would just, like, go in his car and bang. I get it. Like, I get it. Talia's not at fault here. But Foster has some splaining to do. I will definitely be posting a review for this book on my Goodreads, so make sure you go follow. It's always linked in the description box below. I will probably post updates on my Insta stories about this one as well. Because I am screaming at the top of my lungs right now, and not in a good way. Watch, I promise you on Goodreads, when I post my review, I'm probably going to be like, I love this man.